Hey guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. My nickname is iFacePalm, and in this episode we're going to take a closer look at the British Tier 6 Tog II Premium Heavy Tank, which truly is a different tank in so many ways. But is it any good? Even it is the slowest and longest tank in the game. And during this tank review we'll be looking into whether if it's worth the gold next time it arrives to the premium shop, how its tank statistics looks. I'll compare it against, well, there isn't anything really to compare this tank to, but nevertheless I have chosen a few tanks to compare it with, which will be followed up with a quick armor profile rundown with focus on its weak spots and strengths. And afterwards I'll take you guys alongside a battle I just had today, which hopefully will give you guys a good idea of this tank in action. And finally I'll finish up with a quick sum up and my rating of this sausage tank. Okay guys, let's get started. You might have noticed I have a beautiful Chuck Norris camo here. This tank is really badass. Well, not real, so let's get a camo that really suits this tank. Because it's so gigantic, it's actually very nice to test out how your camo looks. Because you can see here one of the Christmas camos. Plenty of space to see how it actually features on the tank. Not bad at all. Even the concrete camo looks not bad. But the one that truly is made for the Tog is the hot Tog camouflage. Yeah, this is more suitable in so many ways. But let's take a look. Okay guys, so what is this Tog II all about and why? Yes, why? The funny part is that this tank is actually real, and a single Tog II tank was actually produced in 1941. In case of that, the battlefields in the northern France developed into trench warfare as it happened during the First World War. You can imagine that this tank is long enough to drive over the trenches. But as you all well know, the British realized that this tank would stand no chance in 1941 against the Axis forces. But nevertheless, the cool part is that the single prototype that was built, it actually exists in real life, and it is possible to visit and see the tank for yourself at the Bovington Tank Museum in the UK. I have personally unfortunately not been there myself, but it's definitely on my bucket list or wish list. So hopefully one beautiful day, and with a camera and a bag full of batteries, yeah, who knows. Okay, so the Tog II and World of Tanks, is it outdated also? Because this tank was developed in the early stages of Second World War, but it was built for the First World War problems. So is it as well outdated in World of Tanks? Because it is positioned at tier 6 and can face up to tier 8 tanks. Does it also mean that this tank is correctly outdated? Does it stand a chance? Or is this sausage tank have something hidden under its sleeve? Do notice guys that I probably haven't played this tank in 2 or 3 years, and I could have switched the crew to something much better, but for this particular tank and for the game I just had a few minutes ago, I really felt it didn't really matter in my opinion, because this tank truly takes the word situational to another level. Yes, it's a premium tank, and of course you can load the best guys in your tank, and if so, of course it's going to be 6 guns. Afterwards I would go for gun handling skills, because the gun is not that bad at all, but we're of course going to take a closer look in just a second. Okay guys, so let's do a quick stats rundown with my current crew and tank setup. For the equipment, I've selected the gun rammer, turbocharger and binoculars. We'll go into more details why I've selected the following in just a second. For the ammunition, check how many shells this tank can actually fit. It's crazy. So I've selected 112 AP shells, which each delivers 150 alpha damage with a penetration value of 171. The shell velocity is definitely below the average. The penetration value for a tier 6 vehicle, it's not bad actually. The alpha damage, nothing special. Keep in mind guys that for example the T-3485M or the Tech Tree version delivers 180. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. But when loading the APCR shells, then check this guys. Then we are suddenly able to achieve a penetration value of 239. And furthermore, a quite impressive shell velocity of 1105. Of course going to pay for that, but a few times you take out the Tog, yeah, maybe why not just load every single shell with APCR. Yeah, check the cost guys, this is completely crazy. And last, 10 high explosive shells, which are nothing special and only offers an additional 40 alpha damage, but retains the shell velocity of the original AP shells. For the consumables, nothing out of the ordinary. Small repair kit, small first aid kit, fire extinguisher. And do notice guys that this crew is completely random. I haven't touched this crew in several years, so I used a directive to give my commander the 6th sense. Okay guys, let's take a look how the stats looks, but to give you guys a bit better overview, I will just add a slightly better crew to get rid of the red statistics. But do keep in mind guys that for the replay I just had today, I have used this exact same setup. So I just changed a few of the guys, nothing special here, but I just removed them so we will be able to see the figures when we have the crew just above that 100%. So the average damage 150, average penetration 171, which is not bad at all for tier 6. It has a quite decent rate of fire of 39.1, which means we can fire a shell every 4.31 seconds. Furthermore, the gun traverse speed of 33 degrees is decent as well, especially when you will soon see that this tank is super slow. So at least it is nice that there's a part of the tank that actually can move. Okay, so how is the gun depression? Minus 10 degrees. Not bad at all. This looks really good. Furthermore, the aiming time of 2-1 is decent, and together with a dispersion of 0.35. Keep in mind guys that these figures can and will become better if you're going to put your best heavy tank crew from your tier 8, tier 9 or tier 10 tanks, and in addition you can boost this by adding improved ventilation. Because I've selected a gun ram, it's simply because this tank really can't move. It's like a mobile bunker, besides not mobile. But definitely one of the viable options would be to add either improved ventilation or fitting an improved rotation mechanism. But with the gun rammer fitted, we are able to achieve a total DPM of 2086, and furthermore, check this guys, HP pool of 1560. For tier 6 tank, that is a lot. A tier 7 Tiger 1 tank has 1500. So at this stage here guys, from the HP to the average damage per minute, to the dispersion, aiming, gun depression, gun traverse, the gun loading, the rate of fire, the average penetration, the average damage, it looks not bad at all. What about the armor? Well, 76, 76, 51 and 114, 76, 53. Not impressive, but we're of course going to take a super quick look at the armor profile in just a minute. The engine power of the Tog II is 645, which means yes, you read correctly, 7.9 horsepower per ton, and this is with a turbocharger fitted. This tank is horribly slow because not only does it take 1 year to accelerate to any form of speed, then it also has the slowest top speed in game of 14 an hour, and furthermore the slowest reverse speed of only 7 an hour. So this is really why I wanted to fit a turbocharge, just to get that something extra. And it also means that the traverse speed is still sluggish, only 21.45, and it doesn't have that extra horsepower, the forward speed, to be able to gain any advantage in regard to the traverse speed. But the ground resistance must look good, right? Unfortunately, no. But yeah, we're going to see that in the stats comparison. So yeah, this tank is gigantic and sluggish. And to give you guys an idea of how long this tank is, let's compare it against the mouse. Okay guys, so here we have the Tog, and let's see. Yeah. Yeah guys, the longest tank in game, the Tog II. So how is the camo? Well, despite its super length, it still has a camo value of 879, and this is with a crew that is nowhere near perfect, and when moving 541. And last, we were able to achieve a view range of 457. And to be honest guys, you could of course switch the binoculars with coated optics, but this tank is so slow, so actually the binoculars should be like permanently activated in this tank. But yeah, it doesn't really take you that many seconds to stop the tank, so definitely, at least for me, coated optics is a no-go. And we will finish up with the signal range 595. Okay, let's take a look at the comparison. Okay guys, so here we have the tank comparison, where we're going to take the Tog II and compare it against the Tech 3 Churchill VII, the premium KV2R, which is identical to the Tech 3 versions, besides a few ground resistance figures, and the Tech 3 OI. So for the DPM 1800, definitely nothing out of the ordinary. Of course, keep in mind guys that the KV2R and the OI are really the tanks that fires high explosives. It's really about shoot and pray, but the Churchill 7 is really like a true heavy, but truly slow heavy, because it is very tricky to compare the Tog II against any tank due to its very unique, but at least where the Tog II and the Churchill 7 is very similar is in its speed and gun handling. So we noticed in the garage that the penetration value was quite good for the standard shell, and yes, 171. Because check this guys, 148, 171 is not bad at all. As a quick comparison, the T-3485 has 144, so the penetration value of 171 is definitely good. And furthermore, the damage 150 is nothing really out of the ordinary, as each of the shells deals that high much damage, and as we have unfortunately a lower damage per minute versus the Churchill 7, then of course it comes at the cost of the reload speed, which has a base value of 5 seconds versus Churchill 4.3. The alpha damage of 150, it's really nothing special guys, and this is what is unique about the British tanks. It's really about rapid fire, but unfortunately with low alpha damage, whereas some of the other nationalities, like for example the German premium Tiger, deals 220, and also the French ARL 44 240, or the T150, which delivers 300. This is definitely at the lower end, and in my opinion it is so much easier to play a high alpha damage tank versus a low damage. And the shell velocity of 884, it's really mediocre at best. But how does it look when you load premium? And here I just loaded premium for the Tog II and the Churchill 7, and here we directly can see that again the Tog II has a nice penetration advantage of 239 versus the Churchill 7's 208, and furthermore it has a very decent shell velocity for a tier 6 vehicle of 1105 versus 981. What about the gun handling? Well, check this guys, the aim time is similar, dispersion 0.36, 0.36 again, but unfortunately when moving and when traversing the tank or the turret, we achieve values of 0.22 and 0.20. The Churchill VII is definitely better in this comparison. At least for me, it was important to show you guys what you should in general expect of this tank. For tier 6, it is quite precise, but what really can let this tank down is the turret traverse of 0.2, because as soon as you move the turret slightly, the gun bloom will easily make it that much harder for you to hit, especially moving targets. And you might be wondering, why do you have the KV2 and the OI in this comparison? Well, the main reason for this was to show you guys how the gun handling is in comparison. Shockingly enough, the OI actually have better gun handling figures, excluding of course the gigantic dispersion and aim time. And the other reason for why I have the KV2 and the OI in this comparison, it's simply because if you're playing in one of these two tanks, then it really is like Christmas whenever you see Tog II on the enemy team. Because firing a high explosive shell into a Tog II, that's simply going to cause staggering amount of damage. And the third reason for why I selected those tanks is simply in the mobility. Let's take a look. Okay guys, so the forward speed 14 an hour, yes. This makes it the slowest tank in game. Back in the days, the American Tier 9 T95 actually was the slowest tank, if I remember correct, with 13 km an hour. But that was buffed to 20, rightfully so. But that left the Tog II to be by far the slowest tank in game. And here, 7. So even when we compare against some of the other extremely slow tanks, this is another leap. Because even the engine power of 600, it looks quite similar to the KV2 and even quite better than the Churchill VII. It still weighs 81 tons, which translates to a horsepower per ton value of 738. But are the terrain resistances going to help us out? Well, 1.2, 1.3 and 2.3. Nothing really out of the ordinary. It has better than the KV2, but the KV2 has that extra better power to weight ratio, so it's balanced out. But even when we compare the Tog II's terrain resistance against the Churchill VII and the OI, it is still lacking behind. So what about the traverse? Luckily, the turret traverse is quite decent, 32 degrees. It's superior, especially to the derp tanks, the KV2 and the OI. And here definitely it stands out together with the Churchill VII. Tank traverse 20 degrees, nothing out of the ordinary. It would definitely look strange if this tank had like 40, 50, 60 degrees tank traverse. That would indeed look hilarious. Okay, and for the armor and health, the hull and turret armor we're going to take a look at in just a second. The HP pool of 1560 is very good. It would still be best in class if we compare it against the tier 7s, and it has more HP than many of the tier 8 heavy tanks. It's not bad at all, 1560. But yeah, it comes at a cost. Speed. Okay, how is the camera? Yeah, surprisingly 5.30. Well, it is not a lot, but check this guys. The OI has 0.23 and the KV2 has 4.05. This means that the Tog II actually can hide better and more effectively than a KV2. Not by much, but it's still surprising. And that is even true when moving. Another fun part to notice here in this comparison guys, check how bad the camera value is on the OI. Okay, for the view range 360, it's not bad. And the same for the radio range, it has a bit better, but then again, at least for me, this is not that super important figure. And last, a fire chance of 15%. Okay guys, let's continue with a super quick armor profile rundown. Okay guys, so here we got the Tog. For this comparison, we're going to use the 171mm of penetrating rounds. And let's take a look how this monster looks in live view. Yeah. So 171mm penetrating rounds. And let's take a look from the side and the rear. This is really it guys. There's not so much to it, but it has a few angles and it has quite thick tracks. So you can at times actually bounce something. So of course, anything that will hit you in this green area, it's just going to go through you like butter. You can of course be lucky that you will ricochet a shell here. There is a very small angle here on top of the turret that is beautiful angled at around 80 degrees. And furthermore, at the very lowest part, at the hull profile, there's for around 72, which you can see here. In addition, do notice that the tracks actually are shaped like V-shape. So they start here, they go downwards here, and then they go up there. This means that if you encounter a tank that shoots actually you through the tracks, then that additional thickness will actually count as double spaced armor of 2 times 40mm, which will simply absorb the shell. This is even true if we change it to the 239mm of APCR shells, because check this guys, just simply gets absorbed. Let's change back to the AP. You might of course have seen this viewport here. Whether the figures here are actually correct, that is actually a good question, because here it shows it has spaced armor, but at 0mm thickness. And loading a high explosive shell, then we are still unable to receive a figure. What about side scraping? Because check this guys, you can actually side scrape with that target. Quite challenging for the enemy team to shoot you through the track. But of course it gets tricky because the enemy tanks can of course just shoot your turret. Okay, so the side profile, how does it look? 140mm in the beginning and around 26 to 78. And for the rest of the hull, we have values of around 77 to 76. You might be wondering what this black area is. Loads of spaced armor here that is capable of absorbing your shells. Must say, it must be truly RNG if you cannot hit that target. And for the rear, check this guys, 53mm, but because the turret is quite well angled here, which suddenly translates to an effective angle of more than 60 degrees, then suddenly can actually achieve an effective armor of 170, which is ironically way better than its armor from the front. And again for the hull, 105 5mm, 100 and around 50mm for the lowest part. So yeah guys, even the drone has some angles. As you can see here, this tank really and purely relies of its massive HP pool of 1560. Okay guys, let's take a look at the game I just had in the Tog II. Okay guys, so here we are in Erlenberg. I'm playing the Tog II and I'm playing together with Cobra 2K, who's playing in his P43 bis. Fun part here is that there's actually a platoon of 2 other Togs. And another good thing is that we are not bottom tier, because it can really get annoying when you play as a tier 6 versus tier 8 tanks. It's like this tank barely stands any chance at this tier. So I would like to go to the city, but the reason for why I chose not to is simply because of the enemy team having 1 KV2 and 2 OIs. This is like having the best tanks against this tank. And furthermore, we have a platoon of the 2 Tog IIs that is going to the city, so I wish them the best luck, because wow, I don't expect those guys to live a long time. See if we can get into position here and at least provide some cover fire. If we can get a tank to the D9, because we need to have a spotter and our light tank is quite far away. Even we have 3 light tanks in this game. It looks like the T50-2 is coming over. That's good. Hopefully. Definitely gives me plenty of time to get into position, because the gun itself on the Tog II is quite decent. It's nice rapid fire, the shell penetration is good. If you load the gold, definitely decent shell velocity. So the gun handling is not bad. The problem is, yeah, this is with the turbocharger, guys. See if we can get some shots in. Luckily our light tank there, T50-2 is in position. Just blind firing a few times. Sometimes you can get lucky, but it still gets tricky. Can be, this one shot will definitely get tricky. Can we? Nope. Okay. Luckily we have plenty of ammunition, so we can blind fire for the whole match, I think, and we'll still have ammo left. At least nearly. Bad shot, come on. Got spotted. Whoa, yeah. So far, this is not so good. Okay, got shot. Okay, no, this is good, this is bad. Move, come on. This is painful. Come on, yeah. See guys, this is fast actually to drive forward, and then reversing backwards to get away. This guy will most likely just blind fire. Yeah, you can actually hear the shells. I will probably blind fire a few times. Okay, so the start is not very good, guys. So even with the gigantic HP pool, okay, nice hit. We have lost nearly half of it. It's just lucky. Wow. If I hit that one, that would definitely have been lucky. So, and that's the thing, guys, about the Tog II. It's not that. It seems like this is just like a déjà vu of most games. Go out there, when you get spotted, just, you know, tanks doesn't really need to aim for you, or at least it feels so, because you are so big. So, I definitely need to aim. Okay, let's see if we can put in a shell on this guy. So, yeah. Thinking that guy has so much speed, so most likely it's going to pass through. Okay, can we put another shell inside? Beautiful. Can we help our OI? It will be too late. I go behind a building or something. Yeah, we just have our Tog II left in the city. Okay, we got one. Can we help out with that guy? We really need to take those out. That Sherman is really going to wreak havoc to those 2 Togs. This is the thing, the tank is so slow, so even like, if you want to reposition, can I put in? Oh, beautiful. I have to load gold for this one because the OI is like armored like everywhere. At least for this tier. It's a bit shame it doesn't drive forward. Yeah, you can see, guys, it's killing our Togs. Hoping for makes a mistake. Come on. Okay, one shot more. Come on, one shot more. Wow. Probably knows exactly what will happen if he moves 1 millimeter more. So 6-8 guys, we are already behind 1200 HP. Definitely the start is not that good. This guy is just... Can we actually... Hey, not bad at all. That OI is so gigantic. In its own ways. This one is super long and the other one is super wide. Okay, let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. So as you guys can see, if we were fighting like, let's say on a ridge line, making those snapshots, it will be like near to impossible. But that's the thing about this tank, guys. It's so ridiculous in so many ways that it's fun. But you know, at a certain stage it gets like, okay, one game, yeah, and then the fun part, at least for me when I play with this tank, it's enough 1 or 2 times a year. Then I have fun with it. If I had to play 10 games with this tank, oh my god. Can we put another? Can we be like, yes, not bad at all. It's really strange. Side scraping by the UI, but come on, come on. Not bad at all. Got hit. Beautiful. Really, really weird side scraping or whatever it was. Can we take out this guy? Yeah, so you guys see the Tog II are gone in the city. And this is the part of why I did not go there, because I knew that this tank cannot reposition, so I would really do nothing there besides just being kind and nice to the enemy team and providing them a nice beefy HP pool. Come on, come on. Yeah, beautiful. Get out. Yeah, this is like getting down with this. Actually, shot at me. I'm surprised every time. This guy didn't either. Okay, A1 shot at me. My HP is still okay. Can we go through again? Ah, bad shot, bad. This is not good. This is like the worst enemy ever. Type 64. He can just drive around. There's no way. If you place it correctly, there's no way I have a chance at this sluggish monster. Well, let's see, maybe. Okay. Thank you. Huh, not 13-13. Well, the enemy team definitely knows where I am. Okay, 2 versus 1. A few tanks left. No, come on, come on, come on. It's so important. Yeah, maybe I should have loaded more gold in this tank. Yes, that was lucky. The last shot there was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so this actually looks not bad at all. We are 2 versus 1. We have the tank destroyer. Looks like he is going to push. This would actually been better if he didn't push and I could actually drive around. But the thing is, even if I push now, and I don't know how aggressive he's going to be. Because will he be waiting for me? Should I push also? Because if he just goes YOLO, full YOLO, and he dies, then I'll be caught out in the middle. I simply cannot get away from that. I'll just be easy pickings. So I'm sitting here in a dilemma, which seems to at least pretend he knows what's... Okay, yes. Well, you can see we already got 6 kills, so this is beautiful. I'm still a bit worried because the enemy tank has more HP. And the way this guy YOLO'd, that worries me a bit. Yeah, definitely now. Can I move a bit closer? This is not good. I need to put in a few shells into the AL-44 because... Okay, good, good. He removed the HP. It's all about removing that HP from him. It's going to... Hopefully the enemy AL-44 is going to forget about my presence and they're going to reverse slightly more, or at least go forwards. We can put in a shell. So I'm afraid that is so important, that shot. Okay, so he has 404 health left. He continues. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so it's a 2-shot for us. Okay, this is tricky, because even that guy is slow. I don't know. What is left? We have less than 5 minutes. Dilemmas, dilemmas. Check this feed, guys. Oh, this is not good, this is not good. Come on, RNG. Come on. Can we put a 0? No. This is not good. Our HP pool is disappearing. 287 health. Come on, come on. Oh my. Come on, Angie. Come on, Angie. Come on, come on. Oh yes. Okay, that shot was so important. Because now that means that that guy is afraid to focus for the last one. And yeah. So which place does he come out from? Does he think that because logically he would come from the left side, but then if he's anticipating that I'm anticipating that, then I'll be looking at the left side and then he will come from the right side, where I will of course not anticipate it, but I'm counter anticipating him. Chaos. You know what? If I attack here, he will stand the best chance. That's 3 minutes 30 seconds. I'm simply going to retreat and reposition. I know, guys. Reposition in this. Yeah. Let's see. We have 24 HP left, and the other guy is 101 HP left. I must admit, guys, I have never had a game that was this tense in a TOG. How can you have a game that is tense in a TOG? Come on. Sing my heart pulse is like beating at like 200 right now. This is like the most insane, well, my personal most insane TOG battle. Doesn't even matter if we win or not. Come on, come on. I'm hoping that the enemy, the guy knows exactly how bad this tank is and how slow I am. So that the only option I really have is to go directly at him. So I'm thinking, oh, don't put that tree down. Okay, good, good. The only option as I see to have at least some advantage is to still hope that that guy did not move at all. Simply because he knows that this tank is so slow that there's no driver, no reasonable driver at least, that would ever reposition this tank, especially when there is like 2 minutes left of the battle, and especially not drive. So we just get a last chance there? No, nothing there. Okay, it's hopefully still there. And especially drive the whole way around and then get on top of that hill. I'm still wondering even if I can make it, because yes, there's 1 minute 50 seconds, but is this tank actually fast enough to make the trip? Wow, okay, the guy is still not visible. This is not good. If he pokes out at any time, guys, you will have such an advantage, because check, he just needs to like blind fire. He's going to hit us one way or another. I have my whole side towards him. Okay, let's make it a bit now, hopefully, come on, safety. This is crazy. Okay. This game, definitely, I must say, guys, I definitely didn't expect to have a TOG game that was this. Okay, guys, there's only 1 minute left. Can I actually go up of this hill and see something? Because the other guy's definitely going to cap us out, because he needs 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I honestly don't see because I really believe that he's in that location. Because he wouldn't drive over to the 4-5 line around that. He is too slow for that. So but the question is, I think he's in the middle, but the question is how did he barricade himself. Plus he has some defense in the side. Come on, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Yes. He didn't spot me. Okay, wait. Yeah! Beautiful. Yes! So the Tog II. It is definitely a special and unique tank. There isn't really anything like it in the game, and for that reason it is special. But by special I do not mean enjoyable. Playing with this is like eating an insanely hot chili. You know you should not do it, you know how it's going to end, but still, sometimes, on rare occasions, just this one time, again. And that of course leads me to the question, how many facepalms would I give this British sausage tank? Yeah, you guess it, 1 facepalm. It is a tank that, at least for me, is at best fun to play 1 or 2 times a year, and that's really it. But the 1 or 2 times a year is usually together in a full Tog II platoon. But the thing is that any tank can be devastating in the right position and in the right environment. And the position where we were was where I could utilize this gun and hide away, or at least try to hide away as much as possible of this gigantic tank. The thing that I like about this tank is that I'm enjoying laughing at how bad and long this tank actually is. And furthermore, any person who will encounter you will be like, yeah, Tog, look at that HP pool. All the enemy artillery players will send their best regards written on all of their RT shells. And do not be surprised that the enemy KV2s and OIs with their high explosive shells will try to actively guess where to find you for the amazing opportunity to just eat your HP away. So yeah, the Tog II is a tank, in my humble opinion, that everyone is happy to see, but especially the enemy team. And if you want a truly unique tank, then you will definitely not go wrong with the Tog II. But how often you will take it out of the garage for a spin, well, that you will of course be a way better judge of. Okay guys, let's finish up. I hope that this tank review was helpful towards your decision on whether you should pick one up from the premium shop next time it is for sale. And thanks a lot for watching guys, this was my tank review number 27. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of the tier 6 Tog premium tank in the comments below. And as always, if you like to see more crazy content from my side, feel free to leave a like or even subscribe. It's a big thumbs up for me and I appreciate it a lot. Cheers guys, take care and see you next time.